So I'm really excited about this week's review. I mean, more than usual even, because I get to do something really cool. This week, we're gonna have a fight, an all-out battle for mobile gaming supremacy between 4 different phones. And being that I'm more of a casual gamer, I brought in the big guns to really help me thoroughly test the mettle of these mobiles. My son, Ty Armstrong. Now, a little background, and because I'm a proud dad, this young man here is a linguistics major finishing up his undergrad, speaks Russian, studies Mandarin, knows his culture, and has a logical line of debate in the anime subs versus dubs wars. Oh, and he games a lot. So I know we could totally get into the whole console versus PC master race gaming thing, but for the sake of brevity, what are your top console games right now? What are you playing?
So I really like MOBAs, so I play Smite. Smite's pretty fun. But I also like hopping into the Warzone with the boys.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, well, there you go. You've got the lowdown from the man himself. Let's get to that fight. Hey, if any of these videos have helped you, please hit that thumbs up.
Hit that subscribe.
And hit that notification so you'll be notified every time we upload the latest content.
Today we've got a hot topic on our hands. We're pitting Samsung's Galaxy S20 Ultra against the LG V60 5G, against the OnePlus 8 Pro, against the iPhone 11 Pro Max. All flagships, all high-end. It's lit.
The categories we looked at for this gaming review are display quality, battery life, sound, and gameplay and mechanics.
Using those categories, we played Call of Duty Mobile, Sandship, and Vikings 2. Basically a game that would tax the Snapdragon processors and graphics processing units, as well as heat dissipation. That mix of games spans high intensity through casual gaming experiences.
So category 1 displays. Getting into the 4 phones, let's start from the top and back in from there. Your favorite phone out of all of these, and personally my favorite too, was what?
The S20.
Yeah, the S20 Ultra, hands down. Now, part of that is due to the technology because, as we've discussed, you know, the iPhone 11 Pro Max has a 60 hertz refresh rate, but it actually has that 120 hertz polling rate, touch polling rate. Whereas the S20 Ultra has a 120 hertz refresh rate, but it has a 240 hertz touch polling rate. So 240 times it's checking for touches, which you found what when you were doing Call of Duty?
So I feel like the biggest thing with that was that although you really get that reactivity with the iPhone, it's not at a level where I could be like, competitively, I would use this. This would be my go-to.
Right.
I feel like if you're just starting out, the iPhone would be good for that.
Right.
Because you want to get on that competitive level.
Right.
But to take that competitive level to the next level and put yourself like just a step above,
Right.
you're gonna go with the S20.
So for you, the S20, when you were playing, because I noticed how fluid it was and how responsive it was. I think you said you were getting like ridiculous amount of kills.
The last game I played, I went 36-2.
And you feel that that was because that 240 hertz touch polling rate really made it super responsive and you were able to get the drop on a lot of people.
Okay, despite the fact that people were pretty bad. Regardless of that, there were still people that were actually not too bad.
Right.
And even with them being like not too bad, I was still able to like take them out easily. Like there were points in the game where I was on a 10 or 15 kill streak easily. Like way better than I would on PC or Xbox or PS4, anything.
Now, to note, we were using these straight out the box. We weren't making this complicated, so we weren't using Bluetooth controllers.
Yeah.
This was just the touch response on the screens without anything additional. And we did do 4 phones.
Enemy in sight.
Playing on the LG V60 and the OnePlus 8 Pro didn't quite add up to the experience, the responsiveness, the game mechanics with as did the S20 Ultra and the iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Unfortunately not. I'd have to call them casual gaming phones. And again, they're still amazing in their own respects, but for that competitive play, you would need a higher reactivity level.
Now, okay, let's throw a little something extra into the mix. How did you feel playing Call of Duty with the LG V60 with the dual display, actually using that controller?
It's still, the dual controller was cool. It was awesome, actually. It was the first thing I've seen like that before. So when I was playing with the dual controller, I was like, yo, this is kind of wild. But the issue was still I couldn't turn as fast because when I was playing with the S20, I'm just turning, boom, hit one person, boom, hit another person. I can turn really fast, even to the point where when people get the drop on me, I can 360 and just hit them. And I was doing that with snipers too. It was kind of nice. I was like, got him. Like it was nice. It was nice.
Now let's get to the next thing on our list, which is sound.
Well, when you can hear people's footsteps in Search and Destroy, you feel a step above the rest. So the S20 definitely was it. I could hear people's footsteps like someone's like coming into my room or something. Because again, Search and Destroy S&D is like a really quiet game. You want to be as quiet as possible. You're using silencers potentially.
Right.
You want to try to get the drop on people before they get the drop on you because you only have one life.
So situational awareness was high with the Galaxy S20 Ultra, but did any phone come close? I mean, did it blow the other three out of the water? How did you feel playing Search and Destroy and listening for those footsteps?
Although the S20 was pretty good, I think a lot of the bass was my only issue. It didn't have enough bass to it as opposed to like the 11, which had like a really good bass, and I could still hear those footsteps like really well. And just bass as in like sometimes when it would...
So you're talking about like explosions. It had a really robust sound with the explosions. Now the interesting thing is these phones actually have front firing speakers, and that really helps immerse you into the game. But even with those front firing speakers kind of being similar, the S20 Ultra was best with the situational awareness, but like you're saying, for me also it lacked a little bit in the bass department, where the iPhone 11 Pro, really the Pro Max, really delivered on that full robust sound. What about the V60? How did that work for you in terms of sound?
So the V60 again, the sound held up pretty well. I would just say it didn't hold up as well as the 11 or the S20. When you're gaming on the phone, you're playing like this.
And it can muffle the sound, because that's something I noticed. So for me also, when I was playing the games, because they have, some of these phones have the speaker firing at you in the front, if you're playing like this and you cover up that speaker down here, you get all that audio firing at your face, so you're still getting a good full sound. So then let's get to the next thing, where they all kind of did similarly, and that was battery life. After an hour of play, so we started off with 100%. We looked at where the phones were after an hour of play, and for us, it looked like most of these phones only lost about 10 to 12% per hour of gameplay. And that's with everything maxed out. All the settings set to full settings and running Game Booster in the background, showing us the frames per second. So battery life on all the phones was comparable. There was no phone that really stood out.
When it came down to it, everything hit about 87 to 89%, so about that 10 to 12. The one thing the S20 did though, it hit about 80%. And I was confused at first. I was like, why are you hitting 80%? Well, these other phones are hitting 87 to 89%. I was like, what would the difference be? Come to realize you're running a game at 120 FPS. You have that 240 touch polling rate. So when all of those things are coming into play, I feel like the phone, because the heat stayed kind of relative as well, and it was kind of nice.
So it didn't heat up any more than the other phones, even though it was running a higher refresh rate and a higher touch polling rate.
If it did, you couldn't feel it as much, and that's something I like, because I don't want to be holding a hot potato in my hand while I'm trying to play a game. I was like, if I'm already hot in the game, I don't want the phone to be hot too. And Game Booster was showing what, 23 to 30? About 25 to 37 degrees Celsius. And that's usually how phones would run. Some would run about 32. Some would start off actually about 32 and then hit about 37. But most of them started off at about 25, 27 and went up. So the range in heat expansion was less than 10 degrees Celsius when playing games for about an hour. So we were going to actually talk mechanics, but I realized that when we talk display, we actually talked mechanics. Well, mechanics comes up, I feel like, in display, because mechanics is kind of inherently part of the display. If I'm looking at the display, if I'm looking through the display and I'm reacting with it, you're gonna have those mechanics in there as well.
Well, especially since that touch polling rate is built into the display technology, which accounts for the mechanics of gameplay, it kind of all goes hand in hand. Literally. So we've already touched on that, and the S20 Ultra was our winner in mechanics because it was the most fluid. And when you get into casual gaming, it seemed like a lot of those things really didn't matter as much with casual gaming because it's more hack and slash. It's more just,
swipe shooters.
Right. So our assessment to end things off, to bring it home, me and my boy, my man, Ty Armstrong, for casual gamers, what? What is your advice?
For casual gamers, I would say the OnePlus and the V60.
Okay, so you don't need to spend the $1,400 on these phones if you're really about that casual gaming life.
Well, yeah, these are like absolutely beautiful phones. These are amazing phones. I love both of these phones, and for casual gaming, they're just great. But if I want to get more into competitive play,
right,
then
you're either going to go 11 Pro Max or you're going to go S20 Ultra. Exactly. And if we had to pick one, because we have to pick a lane, which one, if I dropped $1,400 and said, I'm giving you $1,400 because you just graduated college and you graduated summa cum laude, here's $1,400, go buy a phone. Which one of those are you buying?
See, I have an iPhone. I used to have an Android, but I have an iPhone now. Mm-hmm. But I like playing games too. So I'm sorry. But the S20, I would get the S20.
Okay, so caveat, if you are a hardcore gamer and if you're playing shooting games or other games where responsiveness and audio quality, nuanced audio, where we're talking footsteps, we're talking situational awareness, kind of a 360-degree thing, S20 Ultra is our winner in this game battle for high-end, super responsive gaming needs. Other than that, LG V60, OnePlus 8 Pro, those are great for casual gaming, as he already said. And again, with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, that comes very close to the S20 Ultra, but you really can't beat a 240 hertz touch polling rate. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Hey, we don't take it lightly that you took the time to watch this video today. We thank you for watching with us. I thank you for joining me today in this video and helping give our viewers the real deal experience. It was litty lit. Litty lit lit lit. See, I'm hip. I can use litty lit lit.
I guess.
Okay. Well, there you go. Maybe. I'm Tshaka Armstrong.
I'm Tshaka Armstrong.
And this has been reviews.org. If you want to find out anything about the rate plans, about phone calling plans, about all the other things you need that go along with these phones, go ahead and hit the site reviews.org. If you have any questions, any comments, anything that we didn't touch on that you'd like to know more about, leave that in the comments below. Me or Ty will get to it. Thank you for watching.